staying on top of it, seeing what's working right now and all that stuff. And if you're not doing that, then they're like, okay, well, maybe we can replace this, but eventually the product's gonna deteriorate and we're gonna be outcompeted by people who are newer and better. And so, okay, fine, then you have to replace that. These are both very hard problems to solve. And then finally, the entire team's loyal to you and they started working because they probably watched your content or consumed your ads or in some way they aspire to be like you in some way or they admire certain traits about you. And so if they're like, well, if you leave, I'm leaving. And so you have this infrastructure of people who also don't want to work for anybody else. And so there's huge risk from an asset perspective to sell or exit this company. And so if you want to make this as income, and just think about this as getting a really high paying job, then this is a great opportunity. But now I want to talk to these people. So I had 3 different business owners, and this is why I'm making this video, recently. One was a guy who had a paint business who's doing $4 million a year. Another was a salon owner doing about $3 or $4 million a year. She had 6 locations doing lash extensions and other stuff like that. And then the third business was a business opportunity, like a micro business, where he would set up home gardens in people's backyards. Like that was his thing, and people would pay him to do that. And so he could teach other people how to set up gardens in other people's backyards, etc. Okay, so almost all of these guys were right here. They had enough skill that they could teach a beginner, but not enough skill to be a master. So they could jump from here, and based on the time in the business, they'd be like here. Like if you look at this amount of time to here, they would jump all the way to here on their income. They'd jump higher up on that graph. But as time continues to go on this way, this graph, as time goes on, goes off the chart. And this one is very difficult to get there, especially if you have a exit, meaning somebody buys your business because you built an asset that does not rely on you. When you have 60 locations and you're not the one in the ads and you're not the one delivering the lash extensions, that's a very sellable business. And what I can also promise you is that to get from 1 to 5, going from 55 to 60 locations, you're going to make more money at 55 to 60, and it's going to cost you almost no time. But most people quit right when they reach a boss that they don't know how to beat. And what's interesting about this is that the cap on this business and the cap for most people in chains or traditional service businesses is about the same. It's because they don't know how to get the next level of leadership in. And so they're able to get the first team in, maybe one manager, but they can't get the next level of leadership in. That's what takes you from 5 locations to 25 to 30 locations. That's going from one city where you've got 3 to 5 to 5 cities where you have 3 to 5, if you're thinking locations. But you can think about this as an accounting firm, it doesn't really matter.